Hey everyone, this is Kyle, the creator of Card Conjurer, and today I'm going to be giving you a little tutorial on how to start making your own custom cards. So I'm going to scroll down here and click Get Started. So now we're on the creator page, and you can see up at the top we have these 8 different tabs. Each of them controls a different part of the card, and I'm going to show you how to use each one. So let's start with the Frame tab. The first thing here is going to be the Frame Groups and Frame Packs. This is how you're going to navigate between different card templates. So frame groups are mostly organizational, and the frame packs is where you're going to find the actual templates. So you can see here we have a bunch of different templates, but there are also some add-ons such as legend crowns and holo stamps. So let's just start with some basic frames. To add them to the card, you're going to want to select the card frame and then click Add to Card. You'll also find some image masks on the right here, and if you don't know what image masks are, they essentially control which part of the image is displayed. So I can select the red frame and title mask and add that to the card. Likewise, I can select the green frame and the type mask and add it to the card. So I'm just going to delete these by clicking the X's here. You can also add these to the right half of the card. So I'm going to select the red frame, click Add to Right Half, and now we have a hybrid frame. So now if we select a gold frame, we can add a title, a type, and a frame. And now we have a multicolored card. Finally, I'm going to scroll down and add this multicolored power toughness box. Now, if you click the More Options drop-down right here, you can add cards to the left half or middle third. And by reading the tooltip, you can see you can actually double-click frame images to add them, and by holding down a certain key, you can add it to a certain part of the card. But I'm just going to hide the More Options for now. Down here, we have all the frames we've added, and you can actually click and drag them to reorder them. So by dragging the multicolored frame down here, you can see that the right half of the red frame is drawn over top it, but the multicolored frame is still above the blue frame. But I'm just going to put the multicolored frame back. And again, you can remove images by clicking the X, and I'm going to just add that back, this time by double-clicking. So now that we've completed our frame, let's move on to the Text tab. So here we have our different text boxes, and we're going to start with the mana cost, but to do that, you need to know text codes. So using this drop-down, we can find text codes and mana symbol codes down below. You'll mostly be using the numbers and white, blue, black, red, green, but there's also hybrid mana symbols and Phyrexian mana and much more. So let's go up here and make the mana cost 2 blue, red. So now I'm going to click on title. I'm going to be really creative here and type in card title. So now let's go to card type. I'm going to make this a creature. And you'll notice that on regular cards, there's a long dash here. It's called an M dash. So to get that on Windows, you hold down Alt and then press 0, 1, 5, 1, and then release the Alt key. I believe you can also get an M dash on a Mac by pressing Control Alt dash. I'm just going to type in M dash here so you don't forget. And you can always Google it and copy paste if you want to. So now I'm going to go to rules text and just type in this is the rules text. To go down to the next line, all you have to do is press the enter key. So maybe I want to add an ability here. We're going to use the mana symbol code T for tap. And let's make this tap to add 1 blue mana. So let's check out these text codes. There are too many to go over today, but I think I want to use the flavor text code. All right, so all I have to do is type in flavor with the curly brackets here, and you'll see the flavor bar. We're just going to type hello world. Now the last thing in the text tab is the power toughness, so let's just type in random power toughness here. It looks like we're all good. So now let's go to the art tab. We have a few options here. We can drag and drop or select a file. We can also copy and paste an image URL or enter a card name to import existing art. But for now, I'm just going to take a pre-prepared image of my cat, Griffin. So it's a little off-center, but we can move it around just by clicking and dragging. You can also hold down Shift to scale the image, or even Control to rotate. You can also make fine adjustments with all of these boxes over here. We can move it horizontally, vertically, we can zoom and rotate. You can also click Auto Fit Art to restore to the original position, or you can just remove the art. So I'm just going to drag in some new art. This is my other cat, Katniss. So now let's move over to the Set Symbol tab. Like before, you can drag and drop or copy paste a URL, but now we can add a set code. So here I'm going to type WAR, which is the 3-letter set code for War of the Spark. For the rarity, we can do C for common, U for uncommon, R for rare, and M for mythic. So if you want to know how to find set codes, you can use this drop down here. Generally, you're going to be able to find them on Scryfall though. Like with the art, you can make manual adjustments. You can also reset the placement and remove it. I'm just going to go back though and add a rare set symbol. So now let's go to the watermark tab. Like with the set symbol, you can drag and drop, enter a URL, or use a set code. But there's also this drop down here for lore-based watermarks. So let's add an iset watermark. So we want this watermark to be blue and red. So I'm going to select blue, and then for the right half, I'm going to select red. We can also adjust the opacity, but I like to keep it at 40. There are also manual adjustments down here. Of course with the reset button, and you can also remove the watermark. But I still want a watermark, so I'm just going to add it back. So now we have the collector tab, and that's going to control all the information down here. I like to leave it as is, but the one really important thing you have to do here is credit the artist. So in this case, that is myself, because I took this picture. So this toggle star/dot button controls the star or dot down here. The dot is seen on non-foils and the star is seen on foils. And that's pretty much it. So when you're done, you can go down to the bottom and click download card. If that doesn't work, you can click here for an alternative download. So I'm gonna go back to the frame tab so we can look at a couple other things. I'm gonna start by removing these so we can look at another template. How about conspiracy cards? So when you first visit the site, you're gonna have this auto load checked by default. And all that does is it automatically clicks this load frame version button every time you select a template. Now you're not going to see any changes with this particular template, but with other templates, loading the frame version is going to tell Card Conjurer which fonts to use, where to display the text, how big the art is, and many other details like that. So now that we have the conspiracy template loaded, I'm going to double click to add the colorless frame, and I'm going to double click to add this conspiracy stamp here. All right, so now our frame is ready. I'm going to move over to the text tab and clear out the mana cost. And for the title, I guess I'll just call this Secret Partner. Okay, so now I'm going to go over to type, and I just want to make this a conspiracy. So I'm just going to clear out the rules text and the power toughness, then I'll type something in and be right back. Alright, so that seems pretty fun for a Commander Cube. So onto the Art tab, I'm going to use the import feature, just type in better, and here you can see these are all the cards that come up for the search. I'm going to select better than one. One thing that's nice about importing art is it'll automatically import the artist. Alright, so the art is all good. I'm going to go to the set symbol, and I'm going to use CN2, which is the set code for Conspiracy 2. And now I'm just going to go to the watermark tab and remove the watermark. So I would say this looks good to go, and we could download it right now, but if you wanted to play this in, say, a Commander Cube, you might want to print it. And sometimes when you're printing, it's nice to have a little margin. So if we go down here and select 1/8 inch margins under our frame group, you can see it's kind of right at the bottom there. And then now if we take a look at the frame groups, there's some specialized ones, but the generic margins will be good enough in this case. And now if we don't have auto load checked, you just want to click load frame version. In this case, loading the frame version added this margin around the card, and we just want to fill it in with a plain black border. And now with that margin, I think we're good to go. So I'm going to download this, and now I can print it and put it in my Commander Cube. All right, that's it. There's so many more templates and a few other features, but you can figure those out just by playing around with it. If you make any cool cards, I'd love to see them, so you can post it on Twitter with hashtag Card Conjurer. And you can also just check out my Twitter over here if you'd like to see what cards I'm making. If you want to help me out, I have a Patreon and PayPal as well. Then down here, feel free to send me an email if you ever have feedback, questions, requests, or anything. And way down at the bottom, I have a few other tools, so feel free to check those out as well. All right, thanks for watching, and happy card conjuring!